Welcome to Quickie Reviews, where today we'll be talking about episode 14 of Darling of the Franxx. Is this the first bad episode of the show? Now, I, among other people who watched this show, were pretty much hyped for when it was going to come out. Like, we were left off with this huge cliffhanger-ish ending, where Hiro told 02, "You were the girl with the picture book back then, weren't you?" And that was the sign that he got his memories back, of remembering 02 and him and their children. So, we were all thinking, what's going to happen now? Are they going to brush up on it more? Are the other teammates going to figure out what's going on? Everything was building on what episode 14 was going to be. And I watched it a few hours ago, like 3 hours ago, and I wasn't expecting what I saw. If you want my opinion, it felt more like this was a filler episode, really, and there was not much plot that was pushed in it. I'm not gonna go too much into spoilers, but just a spoiler warning just in case. If you haven't seen it, go watch it on one of those websites that are authentic and get back to me. Get back to the video as soon as you can. But everything kind of took a giant U-turn in episode 14. Going into it, Hiro is in the hospital. Ichigo and the others don't want 02 to see him, given that she's the reason Hiro is in the hospital. And the major point of the episode is keeping them apart. So we're basically already going the Romeo and Juliet route of the episode. We see that 02 is just torn apart, not seeing her darling. And Hiro is torn apart because he wants answers to everything. And it goes back and forth, but close to the end is where I think people will have severe mixed judgment on the episode. The team basically cracks and takes 02 to see Hiro. Like, they're with her just in case anything goes down. And when they enter his room, it turns out Hiro MacGyvered his way out of the room to go see 02 back at the house. And 02 thinks it's a cruel joke that they played. So she attacks them. And everyone's pretty much down except for Ichigo, who she has by the collar. And just as she's about to attack, Hiro gets in, saves her, and calls 02 a monster. And the next scene we have, 02 is leaving the house. It was pretty much said earlier in the episode that 02 is going to be changing teams. So this is her time of leaving. And pretty much everyone on the team are angry at her still. And we do see one interaction with Hiro and 02. It's when they're walking in opposite directions by each other. And Hiro stops and starts to cry. And just as Hiro is about to run after 02, Ichigo stops him, tells him not to do it, and then after this long monologue she gives, confesses her love of him, and then kisses him. And the episode ends with Ichigo holding Hiro, while Hiro is looking up and seeing a ship that 02 is riding in fly away. I, among other people, were not expecting this out of the episode. We pretty much thought there's going to be more plot-driven, explain more of the story that the series has been building so far. But instead, we got this teen drama, so to say. And you can argue that's the point of the show. The show is not just like this, it's also a drama, it's a comedy, it's anything. But the majority of the episode felt like a drama to me. There was not many fights that we got, there was mostly scenes of talking. And I'm good with scenes of talking as long as it helps drive the story. This episode felt different from the others. And I feel that's gonna hurt it if you rewatch it. If I'm being honest, if I was rewatching the whole series from episode 1 to the last episode, I would skip episode 14. Because I didn't think it necessarily had to be there. Or if it had to be there, it didn't have to necessarily be like that, so to say. If I was doing this episode, I would have let the team know what Hiro was talking about when he said you're the girl in the picture book. I would have had Hiro explain to them his memories of her during the scene where everyone is in the room together. Minus 02, of course. But yeah, now it's time to get to the major point of the episode. Is if you go to any clips that are on YouTube right now, if you look down in the comments for the clips of this episode, you would see nothing but hate going to the character Ichigo. And you can argue that with severe evidence to prove your point. One of the comments I read of that is, if Ichigo didn't drag it on with 02 and Hiro, maybe the final go would never happen. And I can see that commenter has a point. I could see many of the points they're bringing up. Like, it's not just like name calling they're doing for this character, this cartoon character nonetheless. It's basically evidence to prove that everything Ichigo did in this episode pretty much led to severe consequences that we'll probably see. And I also want to bring up how I feel it didn't necessarily have to be that way. Like, I knew Ichigo's character is protective of Hiro, but they didn't have to make her as protective as they made her in this episode. And if people say they're going to stop watching because of her, I honestly wouldn't blame them. At the same time, I would question, why are you doing this? And if they gave me the evidence, I'd be like, alright, go ahead, you do you. So, the main negative points that could be pretty much summed up is how it wasn't plot driven and how they handled Ichigo. But with all of this, where does that leave the episode? Well, in my opinion, given what I explained already, I would personally give this episode a C. I mean, yeah, it wasn't as good as the other episodes, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Like, there's certainly points in the episode I liked. Like, I certainly felt emotion with Hiro and 02 for certain points. And if I had to point up the negative comments, it would just be like how they handled Ichigo's character, how it was mainly just people talking. There wasn't as much plot as I hope it would have been. And you know what? You could put it like that too. Overall, it wasn't a bad episode, and it wasn't a good episode. It was pretty much a mixed bag, so to speak. Like, you'll have people say they love it, you'll have people say they hate it. But honestly, you're allowed to have both. It's allowed to be average. It's allowed to be a simple 50-50 opinion, whether you like it, whether you hate it. So yeah, Darling of the Franxx, episode 14. Is it the first bad episode of the show? No. Is it the first average episode of the show? Yeah, you can pretty much say so. And I'm actually holding out hope that they'll actually bring up Hiro's memories to the team, But we gotta wait till episode 14 to find out. I'm holding out hope for this show. And I really like the show nonetheless. Thank you for watching my first video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I apologize for the audio quality. I promise you it'll get fixed in a little bit. Please bear with me on this. Thank you. See you next time.